Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We're taking you on a really special trip right now. I've never been there, but we're going to hear all about it. We're going to Ohio, Versailles, Ohio, in the heart of downtown Versailles, Ohio. There's a beautiful brand new boutique hotel. I say brand new, but it has a storied history at this location, and we're going to hear all about it and what's going on there for Thanksgiving. We're talking to executive chef Aaron Allen. He's from the Silas Creative Kitchen and the Hotel Versailles, sharing one of his favorite family Thanksgiving dishes. Welcome, Chef.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Just checking my pronunciation. Did I get, is it Silas Creative Kitchen?
You nailed everything so far. I was listening, but waiting to catch you with this pronunciation.
Well,
that's actually a funny point because the town is Versailles. It's referencing the French city, but it's
everyone here calls it Versailles.
I'll be very quick to correct you if you say that ain't it. It's Versailles.
Yeah. Well, that's how I said it in my head. So as I was driving to the radio station here today, I had to keep saying, I practice. Don't say Versailles. Say Versailles.
I'm from Ohio, and I have to learn myself too. So,
yeah. Well, you've got an incredible resume. I just want to, for the listeners here, kind of skim through it really quickly. You worked at the Nemacolin Woodland Resort in Pennsylvania. You know, what's funny is that my sister's boyfriend, my sister moved out there to Pennsylvania, so was a sous chef out there, Benjamin.
What's his last name? I might know him.
Oh, you're gonna embarrass me on. I just forgot his last name.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember before. And Ben, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry I forgot your last name. Yeah, he spent a year out there during COVID. When were you out there? Were you there?
Before COVID.
Before COVID.
This was
2016, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right before him. You worked at the Forbes 5-starred The Inn at Dos Brisas.
Yep. That's a beautiful place.
Yeah, that's a very small, very high end. We have organic farm there. So.
I've been lucky to work with multiple properties that have come to the program. So it's become a hallmark of my approach to food.
Right. I know. I was reading about that. I want to hear all about that in just a second here, because I don't want to take away anything from your resume here and what you've accomplished in such a short time as a young chef there. You recently served as executive chef at Coppin's restaurant and bar at Hotel Covington in Covington, Kentucky. You're previously an executive chef for the SN10 restaurant group in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Your career includes supervising the operations of the Michelin 2-star Daniel in New York, where you work closely with celebrity chef Daniel. You do the last name for me. I always say it wrong. Yeah, get me on that one if I did it. I was scared. And you made your culinary debut at Rue du Maine in Dayton, Ohio, where you worked with James Beard Award winner, executive chef Ann Kearney.
Yeah.
You've been around a lot. You're cooking up something special, I hear, for Thanksgiving. Tell us about your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it's funny to contrast all of that high-end restaurant experience
with Thanksgiving stuffing, I guess, but those are the kind of things that
professionals talk about during the
holidays. But
yeah, I mean, when you ask the question about what it is that speaks to me, I would be willing to say a lot of chefs
say that like turkey isn't their thing. It can be a little boring and it's hard
to not dry it out. But stuffing is always my favorite
thing during the holidays, and I come from a French
family
in terms of a culinary tradition,
and we always
did a really cool
stuffing with straightforward
sausage and apples, really. But it was like when I was a kid, it was the thing I couldn't stop eating. So that was the dish that I always want to have during the holidays for sure.
So is that something you've brought to your menu this Thanksgiving?
Yeah, so we do this is our first year for the reopen
Hotel Versailles. So we're going to do a big thing for the holiday. So it'll just run all day, and we'll have all the holiday classes. So we'll have a stuffing there as well as roast turkey and amongst other things for sure.
Well, that's really neat that you're bringing your family stuffing recipe basically to the restaurant, to the hotel sales.
That's the way you got to do it.
I just think that's really cool. So if you get the opportunity, if you're in the area, or if you're a guest of the hotel that weekend, they're trying your family recipe that you remember as a kid.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay. So when did you arrive? And tell me a little bit about the hotel. And it's brand new, right? Or you just opened up recently?
Yeah, in May this year. So you referenced one of my favorite points about the history of
the location at which there's a tremendous amount. So there's actually been a
hotel on this property since 1865. So
that's an incredible tradition that you don't see in many properties, as you referenced, all over the country, different locations, and I've never worked at a property with history, so it's a tradition.
Just this great spirit of hospitality here.
So we
just broke ground
when it opened in May of this year. There was a fire at the old inn. The old hotel was called the Inn
in for sales,
and
so it took a couple of years
to rebuild the mansion. And here we are. So we're a 30-room
luxury boutique hotel.
We like to use the
very comfortable luxury. So we're elevated from farm to table, but we're also scratched and local and casual.
And yeah, we're
having a great time, and the local community is enjoying it. We're partnered with our local farm, which is
called Sycamore Bridge.
We have a farm in Covington that grows primarily all the produce that everyone uses. So we have an 85-acre farm there that she raises chickens on and grows all the seasonal varieties. She grew 85 different varieties
last year, and 2,500 pounds of food.
So the restaurant uses primarily the top end of the ingredients
for the menus, and then we source some of our outlets as well.
When did you I know you have a love for this farm and the people that work there, and you've got a real close relationship with them as far as your menu and sourcing ingredients for the menu. What are some of the ingredients in the fall that you source from this farm for this Thanksgiving menu, for the upcoming holidays? What are you looking at? What are you excited about?
Sure. Well, the growing season for our farm slows down as the weather cools, as do all farms. One of my favorite things to talk about is events in our farming. We have she calls them groundhog events and pumpkins. And they're really incredible pumpkins, and the average Joe doesn't really cook pumpkins very often. Usually buy can or whatever. They have a very interesting and delicious savory flavor when you roast them and herbs. And we use them for tortellini filling. We use them for desserts. We use them on vegetable entrees. We use them all over the place. And they're these big, beautiful pumpkins
that are an heirloom variety that her
grandma raised for all these years. And so same thing with me, family recipes for Thanksgiving
dinner at the hotel, like
the produce that she raises for us
has a tradition for her as well.
Not everything, but a lot of things. The tomatoes and
summertime are the same thing.
So yeah, that's probably my favorite. Some of we don't have much fruit. We have orchards.
There's a couple like
pear and cherry trees on the bottom. They don't really produce much, so we have to source some of those things. Then a little bit. Pears, my favorite fall fruits as well.
And then the varieties of flowers are delicata, acorn, butternut. I mean, those are
very diverse
and used in different ways.
You mentioned that the hotel has, this is fact that there has been a hotel on your location where your hotel is located for 150 years. How long has Sycamore Bridge Farms been? How many generations have operated that farm?
That's a good question. So we are partnered with Denmark Corporation. They are our company, and they we're lucky enough to be working with them, and they help to support us on all of our efforts. We purchased that farm sometime before I came on board with the company,
and it used to be a dairy farm.
Not to say that it didn't used to grow produce. I don't honestly
know the history
lineage of that farm. It's only been with us for within the last, I'd say, 10 years or so.
In terms of what it was before us, I'm not really sure, but it's an enormous,
beautiful area, and very pastoral,
very serene. We have there's a local retail winery that we have vineyards there as well as the grapes that get sourced from the winemaking. There's a winery as well as there's a lot of interesting things that grow that are foraged as well that don't necessarily like
running things that she's growing, but like sunchokes grow naturally.
Their ramps grow naturally there.
Stain nettles
grow naturally there.
Different varieties
of herbs, obviously, and different edible flowers and things like that as well. So it's a
beautiful area. We hope to expand as well in the coming years. So we're going to barely scratch the surface. What that farm can be.
Are there other purveyors, local vendors that you also source for your menu?
Absolutely, and that's one of the biggest parts of our story here is our relationship with local vendors. So we're actually, especially during the growing season, we're probably 95% local. We're partnered with Winners Meats, one of our largest partners. We bring in Berkshire pork from them, beautiful pork and Angus beef. So we actually dry age ribeyes, whole ribeyes,
and whole New York strips, and we do 45 to 60 days
of block Angus. And so all the beef comes from them. And then we're also partnered with Eggs,
which is just down the road, and they're one of the larger egg distributors in Ohio, and we
bring all the eggs from them. We're just honestly a miles from here. Our partner with Pittsburgh Poultry as well, which is very close, very local. We bring all our poultry in from them. There's a Cornish cross chicken
that they raise that's beautiful and all natural.
And so from the eggs, the beef, the pork,
the chicken, and then our farm, we don't really need to bring in too much. I mean, we're not making cheeses, and
it's not financially, sensible for farm to grow like hundreds of pounds of onions for us
for all the usage that we have there. So there are some
practical applications still for sourcing outside of the local area that we can local. I mean, it makes the most sense because it's the cleanest, freshest, most delicious food that you can use in
your local community.
So it's the way I was raised to cook, the way I believe in cooking. It's not possible for everybody.
But I'm lucky to be here.
Chef Daniel Blud that you mentioned earlier that you worked with, he really, if I remember right, he has a farm as well, and really at the forefront of all that, growing for his restaurants. What did you learn from him that you take with you?
You need a podcast about everything I learned from working at Daniel. The chefs there, Eddie Rowe, Sean Francois,
are two most talented people that
have the privilege of
working with. Chef Blud as well, obviously. So,
his partnership with local purveyors is huge.
I mean, they
source with the foragers, and there's no comparison with what's available to in terms of product they can bring in as well. But they have the best of the best there, no question.
But I mean,
I learned, I would say, more about cooking
and just
the higher
and elevation of food from working at Danielle. It's a
2 Michelin star restaurant
that has an extremely
pedigree. And everything is
I was lucky to be there for a short time and learned a great deal from him and his staff.
I opened a restaurant in Summit, New Jersey called the Summit House, and our executive chef Martin Kester went out and staged with Chef Daniel before we
right,
and brought back so many great stories.
We have some stories for sure.
Yeah. I'm just so impressed with what you've accomplished and what you're working on now at the Hotel Versailles Describe the restaurant a little bit to us.
Yeah, so the restaurant, it's really interesting. You know, we have an open kitchen concept here that feeds into the dining room.
We have the dance center that's separate from the main dining room. That's the 18, 19 rooms. Reference to, like, you know, we're sitting the city, and you know, the city was things like that. So it's all the history of town, the community. So the restaurant is, you know, my background is, and the food is you know, modern French American. It's primarily on the table. You know, I know that gets thrown around, but we like that. I just explain we're sourcing everything locally and part of the local community. So I'm making an effort to really not write news in the sense that I'm saying, here's what I want to cook, but I mean, it's with a farmer catering. We sit down and we look at the coming season and we talk about, you know, what she can of and involve and you know, quality of that product and all right dishes around that. So we are, you know, full service. We have to hit certain benchmarks in terms of specific kinds of dishes, meaning like pasta, you know, dietary options, lighter and heavier dishes, things like that. But primarily, I'm trying to develop a source around the chicken broth for the seafood. Yeah, so we're 30 room, boutique luxury, as I mentioned, so we're not huge, but the bar, lounge area, and outdoor patio, it's probably about 190 to 200 seats, so it's not huge. But yeah, we're wrestling, and we've changed the concept here a little bit, but we're still staying true to the roots, and the community seems to be responding with all that. So it takes a while to find your identity as a restaurant sometimes, you know.
Did the Hotel Versailles find you, or did you find them? How did you arrive at the doorstep of your?
Well, like I said, I'm from Ohio. I'm from Dayton originally. I grew up in Dayton, went to Wright State University, and moved around, and then I came back. So actually, I'm with our director, Josh, is a big part of why this is fantastic. This is actually our third project together. We work together at the Hotel Covington, and we met at the Antidote Group. So we just agreed to kind of like cross paths at different points, and he came here before me, and they were opening the hotel restaurant, and needed chefs, and thought I was going to do a job and reached out, and I'm glad he did.
Tell me about a particular Thanksgiving memory that you have from your childhood in Ohio. You got it. That's a good memory every year, right?
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I had a pretty traditional, family, to be honest. Crazy. I think it's very fantastic. And I have these amazing stories about, making pasta with grandma. Unfortunately, that wasn't my situation. So she didn't make me work sandwiches, which probably had some effect on me. But
how did you learn to cook, and where did you pick up the interest? And
well, I was always just interested in food. I cooked in lunch kitchens, busy lunch kitchens, and not crazy, just like very fast paced, operations downtown. I was a teenager and really just loved the grind, loved the push, and loved the the teamwork and the all of that craziness that comes with kitchens. And I really just was interested in it. Like, even when I had no idea what I was doing cooking at home, I was always just I would cook books, watch cooking shows, watch documentaries, I watched The Frugal Gourmet. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember that. Cajun Chef on PBS, and really all that. I come from a musical family. My dad was a songwriter and my mom's an art teacher, so I just have that creative blood, and I just was always drawn to it.
And they supported your. I would imagine, being artists themselves, they supported your goals.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They were very supportive of that. I was just drawn to it, and at some point, it didn't make sense to not cook anymore. So by the time I got with Dan, I was so I didn't start in the higher end kitchen until older than which was a blessing. But yeah, by the time I was ready to go, I just pushed forward at that point, and just was obsessed, and that's how it's been since then. So.
Now, I know you love this, and I'm asking, our chefs on this Thanksgiving. I know this topic comes up a lot, that you can be stressed, you can be angry, or something goes wrong, and then you just don't have a good night. Transfers throughout your crew and your line. And I know it also transfers out into the dining room, even if people can't put their finger on it. How much, how do you feel about putting love or passion into your cooking, chef?
Wow, that's a
Important.
great question. It's a really great question. And that's a very multifaceted and complex question to answer. I think that the word love and passion
Food is like,
for me, that's like part of the conversation.
love what we do.
And you don't do this if you don't love it. And if you are doing this, if you don't love it, you're not passionate about it.
It's going to show.
The intensity
Is
part of the job.
drive, and it's where a lot of people work, and they say that like,
No,
this isn't like that.
part of it is personal.
Like
What looks
is kind of not to overly dramatize it, but it is a lot of who you are on the plate.
love, love,
Like especially when we're talking about recipes that are the history of
so it's
it's a very
personal
thing to do. You cook for your loved ones.
So it's very important to look at it that way.
Yeah. And it's trust. If you think about a diner coming into your restaurant, and maybe they don't meet you, maybe they don't, come and see you, you don't meet them, but they sit down at your table, at your seat, and they trust you. That's an immense trust, because food can, you're feeding someone. You're not only feeding them nourishment, but a lot of times you've got someone out there in the dining room that it's their birthday, and then they come back year after year, this is their spot, or they bring their kids, and then their kids bring their kids, and on and on. There's so many stories in a dining room that are happening at every table, and the common connection is your food and what you put in front of them, and that experience is never going to happen the same way twice on one night. Every
100%.
single service is special if you look at it that way. And
Yeah, and I really
agree with you.
As you're saying,
It occurs to me, especially for those moments too, because
we all work, we all
our head in our jobs.
constantly.
Those are those moments where you unwind and connect with your family and loved ones, and those are like
Arguably, my opinion, is important on this long. So,
like
not to turn into it.
at the end of the day, I had a chef that used to always remind me if I'd get upset, he'd say, "Hey, it's just dinner," and then I'm like, "Make sure it's right." Like,
Don't put unnecessary stress on yourself. But, those are important moments
and it's important to
have passion and love in your
food and to make sure that you're doing it
very well as you're able to. So those people have a great time and have those experiences to
remember.
Yeah, what you do is very, very important. And I know, you get on the line and you got all these tickets in front of you, and something didn't show up and all that on the back door. But, at the end of the day, again, what your colleague said, it's only food, but it also is, very special what you do. And I really respect what you do. And I can't wait to come out to the Hotel Versailles and have dinner one time. I'm going to make sure I stop through. Jeff, we got to say goodbye. But I wanted to go back to something. We brushed past it. One of your favorite memories you said was watching football, eating food, laying on the couch with the family. But when is the last time you were able to do that? That's probably what's special. You're a chef.
I feel like
know some chefs or something. You get it.
Yeah, it's been
a minute actually. I have a hard time remembering the last time I had
a chance to. So I won't get to this year either. That's okay. We work when everybody else plays. That's what
we always say, and that's just
part of the job. So I'll do it like the day after Thanksgiving.
That's usually when we do it. Yeah.
You're selfless. You and your crew. Give a shout out to. And I don't mean to put you on the spot. You'll probably forget somebody, but want to give a shout out to a couple of your key members that you count on every day.
Oh, absolutely. My chef cuisine, Nathan Vance, he worked with me today, and couldn't do it without him. He's on the house with me every night,
and one of the most talented people I know
and passionate guys. All of our cooks. My pastry chef, Davis, Josh Hill, our corporate chef, Austin
Reed, our sous chef, every cook that's here to make it happen every day. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Chef. I know you don't have it, and you gave us more than enough to, to get us hungry and wanting to get out to Hotel Versailles. So Chef Aaron Allen, he's very, very busy this holiday season with a whole host of special culinary treasures for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and your New Year's Eve. You can find him on Instagram at, I'm going to spell it for you, ALSKYALLEN and the number one. And at Silas Creative Kitchen on Instagram, you can check out everything, the menu and everything else, a little bit more about Chef Aaron Allen at hotelversales.com. Versaillesohio.com. But I'm going to spell this one for you too. Hotel, and then Versailles is spelled VERSAILLES, Ohio.com, and on Instagram at Hotel Versailles, Ohio, spelled the same way. Chef, thank you so much for your time. And hold on one second. We're going to say goodbye now, but I got to talk to you offline.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Enjoyed it.
Hotel Versailles. Check it out, Chef Aaron Allen. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. Can we get a real fast radio drop from you? I got to get out of here. I'm 6 minutes over, and somebody else's time. But a radio drop is basically introduce yourself and then say something maybe about the upcoming holidays so that we can promote future, or the next year, something about the hotel and your restaurant, and you're listening to the Jeremiah Show. And
Sure,
Rich,
yeah, absolutely.
I'll count you down when ready. 3, 2, 1.
I'm Executive Chef Aaron Allen from Hotel Versailles and Silas Creative Kitchen, and come join us for our Thanksgiving buffet from 11 to 6 and have some family classic favorites. Thanks for listening to us on the Jeremiah Show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Great service and a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.